Alright, so we got some new articles to talk about. The first one that I found was Train to Busan US Remake lines up VHS 2 director Timo, I'm going to butcher this last name, Jajanto? I'm guessing the T is silent. Now, I have an issue with this. I've only seen Train to Busan once, and that was, I think it was last year. I think. I loved it. I thought it was great. Good characters. You know, great zombie effects. I don't remember much of the shots. I would have to watch it again, but overall, I thought it was an enjoyable experience. It definitely felt more fresh, and I heard the sequel wasn't very good, but we're not going to talk about the sequel. We're going to talk about how upset many people are going to be because there is a US remake. It was bound to happen. It was inevitable. But I have a little bit of faith. Sure, it probably won't be as good as the original from 2013, I believe. Now, I'm a fan of VHS. I've seen the first, second, and the third, but we don't talk about the third. Because there's a ridiculous scene with skateboarding and killing skeleton ghosts. Anyway, I've never heard of this director. Obviously, he made VHS. He or she, I'm assuming it's a he. So, we shall... Hold up, wait, he made The Night Comes For Us? Aw, dog. I'm kind of excited now. Alright, let's read and we'll discuss a little bit. VHS 2 and The Night Comes For Us director Timo Jajanto jumps aboard the Train to Busan remake. New Line's remake of the hugely successful South Korean zombie flick Train to Busan has finally begun to pick up some speed, with VHS 2 director Timo Jajanto being brought aboard to helm the project. The Train to Busan remake is being produced by Atomic Monster, which is headed up by modern horror movie maestro James Wan, the man behind such frightening hits as Saw, Insidious, and The Conjuring. Atomic Monster's Michael Clear and Gaumont Nicholas Atlan and Terry Callaghan, I'm guessing how it's pronounced, will produce alongside Wan with coin-operated Gary Dalberman, who is adapting the screenplay, Judson Scott, Sidney Dumas, and Christophe Riandi. Dude, these are some hard names to pronounce. Christophe Riandi and Johanna Bayer are executive producing the upcoming remake. Timo Jajanto first made his presence known back in 2013, directing the horrifying segment Safe Haven as part of the collaborative anthology VHS 2, which I think was the short about the cult. I could be wrong, but I don't remember. The Raid's Uku Uwais in the violent thriller Headshot before uniting again with the martial arts star in Mortal Kombat's Joe Taslim for the even bloodier thriller The Night Comes For Us. I don't know what Headshot is. I may have heard of it, but I don't remember. Most recently, Jajanto wrote and directed the dark fantasy May the Devil Take You Chapter 2, which picks up 2 years after 2018's May the Devil Take You and follows Alfie and Nara as they try to continue their lives. Alfie, though, is still haunted by feelings of guilt and unnatural visions as the dangers that await them rise again to take their lives. Released in 2016, the original Train to Busan finds Seok Woo and his daughter on a train to Busan on the latter's birthday to see his wife. However, the journey turns into a nightmare when they are trapped amidst a zombie outbreak in South Korea. Caused by a chemical leak at a biotech plant, the zombie apocalypse quickly spreads through both the nation and the titular train itself, with our characters struggling to survive. Directed by Yeon Sang-hoo, or Ho, and starring Gong-woo, Jung Yu-mi, and Ma Dong-seok, the original Train to Busan first premiered at the Cannes Film Festival in 2016 and quickly became an international box office hit and critical smash. Praised for reigniting the crowded zombie movie genre with a unique approach, Train to Busan is an intense commute with the undead, thanks in large part both to both the central performances and claustrophobic frights. I guess, yeah, frights. Train to Busan spawned both an animated prequel, didn't know that, and a live-action sequel. 2020's Train to Busan presents Peninsula and follows a soldier who is sent along with his team to retrieve a truck full of money from the wastelands of the Korean peninsula now inhabited by zombies, rogue militia, and a family. Sadly, the sequel proved to be an unworthy follow-up and received mixed reviews from critics and, I'm pretty sure, audiences. When the rights to Train to Busan hit the marketplace, studios erupted from a savage frenzy trying to buy them up, with New Line emerging victorious. Should the remake prove to be as successful as the original, the studio will no doubt be gleefully rubbing their hands together at the thought of a potential franchise. I don't like that line. This comes to us courtesy of Deadline. So, I didn't know that this director made The Night Comes for Us. I really liked that movie, because I've seen The Raid and Raid 2, and Iko Uwais and Joe Taslim were both in that film, and it was great. Fights were great. I think the story was it was good. I don't remember too much. Something about a military or I don't remember much. I'd have to watch it again. I think I watched it last year. I think. Anyway, let's move on to the Running Man remake is happening with director Edgar Wright. Now, you've heard of Edgar Wright. I'm sure that at least one of you has. Now, I've never seen Running Man. The only Arnold Schwarzenegger movie that I've seen are Predator, Total Recall, and I think it was called Kindergarten Cop. I could be really wrong about that, but I don't know. So yeah, let's see what this is going to be. Paramount Pictures has tapped Baby Driver Helmer Edgar Wright to direct a new adaptation of the Stephen King novel The Running Man. Originally published in 1982 under King's pseudonym Richard Bachman, The Running Man was famously adapted into a movie starring Arnold Schwarzenegger in 1987. For Paramount's new movie, Wright and Michael Bacall will co-write the story that's said to be much more faithful to the original novel. Reported by Deadline to be a top priority for Paramount, The Running Man remake will be produced by Simon Kinberg and Audrey Chon under Genre Films alongside Nira Park from Wright's Complete Fiction banner. The outlet also reports that Edgar Wright was courted with the idea of developing The Running Man after previously naming the 1987 adaptation as the one movie he would remake if he could choose any. That's interesting. Because the project is in the very early stages, no casting information has yet been revealed. Directed by Paul Michael Glazer, the original 87 adaptation starred Arnold Schwarzenegger alongside Maria Conchita Alonso, Yaphet Kotto, Jim Brown, and Jesse the Body Ventura. Late Family Feud host Richard Dawson was also featured in a role as a sadistic game show host who narrates the action as Arnold's character fights his way through deadly gladiator battles for the sake of high TV ratings. I may have to watch this now. The Running Man is set in a dystopian future in the United States. While there are some differences between the book and the original movie adaptation, the original movie sees protagonist Ben Richards competing in a broadcast game show where criminals flee from armed stalkers hired to kill them. Making it out alive means earning a state pardon. All the while, people watch the festivities as the world's economy has completely collapsed, and watching professional killers butcher convicted criminals is what passes for entertainment in this alternate reality. Jesus Christ. Along with the Oscar-winning movie... Oh yeah, it did win an Oscar. Baby Driver, Wright is also known for his collaborations with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. He has worked with the comedic duo on the cult classic comedy Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End, and let's just throw in Spaced. Wright also wrote Ant-Man and has directed other movies like Scott Pilgrim vs. the World and the upcoming psychological horror Last Night in Soho, which I know a few of you are pretty excited for. I'm excited for it too. I don't remember when it comes out. His new documentary, The Sparks Brothers, premiered last month at the virtual Sundance Film Festival. Already, news of Wright taking the wheel for a new adaptation of The Running Man is exciting fans of the filmmaker. As one person puts it on Twitter, really looking forward to see how Edgar Wright deals with The Running Man. The news came out of nowhere, but it is a remake, if you could call it that. I can't wait for more. And that's from Kyle. Okay. Paramount hasn't set a release date for The Running Man, and it's unclear when filming will begin. Because the project is considered to be a top priority, the movie will presumably go on the fast track with production likely to start sometime this year. Wright hasn't yet officially commented on the news. This story was reported by Deadline. So, yeah, like I said, I've never seen Running Man, but that concept alone with, people killing each other sounds good. Sounds very interesting. Don't know when we'll hear more news about it, but it should be soon. And the last bit, speaking of The Raid, Tom Hardy teams with The Raid director Gareth Evans for Netflix crime thriller, if I can talk, Havoc. Tom Hardy has signed on to star in Gareth Evans' upcoming Netflix thriller Havoc. In addition to starring in the project, Hardy will also serve as a producer. Evans is probably best known for The Raid and The Raid 2, along with The Apostle. I don't know what that is, which was also a Netflix production. The director-writer is also known for creating the critically acclaimed action crime drama television series Gangs of London. I think that might be on Netflix. That sounds familiar, but I could be wrong about that. Gareth Evans is set to write and direct Havoc. The story takes place after a drug deal has gone wrong. A bruised detective, played by Tom Hardy, must fight his way through a criminal underworld to rescue a politician's estranged son, while unraveling a deep web of corruption and conspiracy that ensnares his entire city. That sold me. We'll have to see how it goes from, paper to the big screen, but we'll see. It is believed that the director and Netflix were working on a new deal prior to this announcement, but wanted to make sure that Hardy was locked in for Havoc before moving forward with the negotiation process. Havoc is also produced by Gareth Evans for One More Productions. Ed Talfin will be producing for Severn Screen and Aram Tertsakian for XYZ Films. Dude, these names. Jesus. This project is a part of Netflix's new exclusive deal with the director. The action thriller will be quite different from his past work with the streaming service, and his fans will likely look forward to seeing what he and Tom Hardy are able to do together. Hardy is coming off his recent roles in Capone, where he played infamous gangster Tom Capone. I heard that wasn't very good. Personally, it didn't catch my interest. I didn't want to see it, honestly. He also finished up work on the long-awaited Venom, Let There Be Carnage, which is set to open in theaters this year. I am not going to... Well, I might watch it, but I have zero hope for it. The first one was stupid. Both The Raid and The Raid 2 were praised by viewers and critics upon their respective releases. Gareth Evans got the idea for the first movie when he moved to Indonesia to film a documentary about the country's martial art Pencak Silat, at the suggestion of his wife, who is of Indonesian-Japanese descent. The first installment opened in 2011, with the sequel coming in 2014. Hey, I was right. Evans thought about releasing a third movie for quite a while before deciding to abandon the idea and move on to other projects. Gareth Evans has an eye for action and oversaw the Gangs of London action scenes while only directing 2 of the episodes. Back in October 2017, Evans was attached to write and direct the Deathstroke movie for DC after passing on the Justice League Dark movie. However, nothing ever came out of either project. According to the director, the standalone Deathstroke movie has been indefinitely delayed, which means that it could probably still happen if the studio decides to pursue it. Actor Joe Tangerino has expressed his desire to return as the character. Deadline was the first to report that Tom Hardy and Gareth Evans are teaming up for Havoc. So that finishes... I can't talk tonight. That concludes the articles. I thought those were pretty interesting, especially this one. Tom Hardy, I have yet to see Locke. I've wanted to, but I don't know, something, it just doesn't, it interests me, but I just don't make time to watch a lot of movies. I don't know why. Gareth Evans, I don't know what The Apostle is, but that sounds very interesting. It sounds familiar. I'll look on, oh, it is Netflix, okay. But Tom Hardy's great. I loved him in, I watched The Drop recently. I also watched, I think he was in Mad Max Fury Road. He was also in the Christopher Nolan films. He was Bane. I think he was a pilot in Dunkirk. I haven't seen Dunkirk. Tom Hardy's been in quite a bit. So, with that being said, I will catch you guys later.